Hey guys, what is going on? It's Cap Gaming here. Today I'm going to be doing the top Call of Duty campaigns in my opinion. Now, just a little side note, this campaign list is only going to involve from Call of Duty World at War through Modern Warfare, not including Black Ops 4, because Black Ops 4 didn't technically have a campaign. It had the Spec Ops mode, but I decided that I wasn't going to put it on here because I didn't play too much of it. And now just remember, this is my opinion. Some of you might not like where I put some of these, but give me your list down below. I really want to know what you guys think because for me, like, Modern Warfare 2 isn't my favorite campaign, and I would like to know what your guys' favorite list is, starting from World at War all the way to the new Modern Warfare game. But anyways, guys, let's get into the number 12 spot. So guys, coming in at our lowest spot, we have Call of Duty Black Ops 3, for the campaign at least. Now, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, it suffers from, like, it is supposed to be a continuation of Black Ops 1, World at War, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 2, but when you think about it, it's its own game, and the only time they even mention the previous games is when you're talking to someone in Egypt. I can't even remember, but I actually only played this campaign once, and then I played it. I guess I played it twice. I played it on normal just to get the campaign played through, and then I played it on realistic with Jordan for a little bit. But honestly, guys, this campaign didn't really do anything for me. It wasn't really that fun. It felt more tedious than anything, and I don't know. Is it any I honestly don't think it's any surprise that I put this at the lowest one because there are so many other good Call of Duty games out there. And honestly, the first four on this list were pretty easy for me to decide, being like, yeah, this is where they should be. But Black Ops 3 is the only campaign that I have not truly enjoyed. And I mean, it was fun when I first played through it, but then when it didn't have anything to do with the original campaigns and the characters were kind of meh, I wasn't a big fan of it. But that's my reasoning for it being in the 12th spot. It was just a bad campaign. But anyways, guys, let's get down to the number 11 spot. So for our number 11 spot, we actually have Call of Duty Ghost. Now, in my opinion, Call of Duty Ghost is a decent campaign, but in retrospect, compared to all these other campaigns that had a whole bunch of different aspects to it, really the only new things that Call of Duty Ghost brought us were like these zero gravity missions. So the one you're seeing right now is the first mission of the campaign. All the videos that you guys are going to be seeing is the first mission of the campaign because I'm a really lazy person, and I'm just kidding. I'm not really that lazy, but it was a lot easier to film the first ones because then some of these I don't have any save progress on the Xbox One, so I kind of had to just do the first missions on them. But like they gave us the space mission, and then they gave us like the dog, but in reality that dog isn't even really that spectacular. Playing as Riley isn't even that spectacular. This campaign was fine, like story wise, but I had to look at it overall. And in my opinion, overall, this campaign didn't really try anything new other than, like I said, the space missions and using the dog. So I couldn't really rank it any higher than this. So, like, this one was probably the first one that I had fought with myself on where it should be placed. Because, in my opinion, if it was just based off story, I probably would have put it at, like, number 8 or number 7. Just because I really like this story. But I had to do, like, a give and take type thing where the story might be good, but if the gameplay is not fun, then it just makes for a boring campaign. And that's why I have Call of Duty Ghost placed at this spot. So anyways, guys, let's get to number 10. And at our number 10 spot, we have Advanced Warfare. Now, Advanced Warfare, in my opinion, is a decent campaign, but, I mean, when I went back and played it for this video, I actually didn't have very much fun playing it because none of the characters, like, make you feel like invested in them. So if they would die, it's like, okay, well, he's dead. I mean, that's sad, yeah, because they were friends and all, but you don't really connect with the characters at all. And I mean, the only really redeeming factor for this campaign for me was it was new, it was futuristic, and I mean, Black Ops 2 had done the future stuff, but Black Ops 2's was still in the past, so it wasn't really future. It was more like, it felt more like a modern warfare mixed with the Vietnam game. But this one actually felt like a future one, so I really enjoyed that, but I wish they would have stopped at this one, or maybe do like one more. But anyways, Advanced Warfare's one redeeming factor is Kevin Spacey as the big baddie. I really enjoyed Kevin Spacey as the villain. It kind of sucks that they killed him off. I really wish he would have been, like, for an Advanced Warfare 2, that would have been nice. But anyways, guys, really, I don't have much to say about these lower spots because I've only ever played the campaigns probably once, maybe twice, because I just don't like them. So let's go ahead and move into the number 9 spot. And number 9 was probably the first one that I had to argue with myself whether or not it should be placed higher, and I had to look at it in a bigger picture. For our number 9 spot, we have Call of Duty World War II. Now, the reason I put Call of Duty World War II lower on this list because it is a really good campaign. It's more of an emotional campaign, which is good, which Call of Duty hadn't seen in a while. But where I feel like this campaign is not as good as others is because it pretty much took the original. I mean, it did well taking the original Call of Duty formula and remaking it, but I feel like what they could have done was maybe have a few more characters die in this campaign because I mean they set you up and like you actually learn to care for these characters, and I believe his name is Turner. That is the only one that dies, and his death is kind of like honestly it's pointless to me. I don't really remember how it happens. I've beaten this campaign twice, so this was the first campaign where I'd actually like gone through and played it twice on my own without like having to go through and play it on veteran or something like that with someone else. But yeah, World War II to me was a great campaign, but again, it didn't really introduce anything new. It pretty much took World at War and copied it. Only it was a more of an emotional campaign, and you don't switch back and forth, which World War II is cool and all. It's the first one to be really gory again, where you could like blow off arms, which made me really happy. But I can't really say that this campaign was stellar because it didn't really help that the everything else in the game kind of sucked. I think that's one of my main reasons. I meant to base this only off a campaign, but like the multiplayer sucked and the zombies sucked in my opinion. So I think that kind of did I think that kind of affected my choice for this. But anyways, guys, this was my first hard one to choose, and the rest of them just keep getting harder and harder. So guys, coming in at our number 8 spot, we have Modern Warfare 1. I've got to keep this one quick because I didn't actually get a very long clip for this one because my game ends up crashing. So, anyways, Modern Warfare 1, I really enjoy this campaign, but I can't really rank it any higher than the others because it is the first, so it was more like a trial run for them almost. And it feels like a complete game, but there's also parts of it that feel kind of rushed because they were probably running out of time and resources since they weren't able to, like, they didn't have all the money they do now to do the things. So I put this campaign a little bit lower. While it is a really good campaign, I don't think it can get higher than this because this campaign just kind of had the basic Call of Duty stuff. There wasn't anything special about it. Like, other than, All Gillied Up was a really good campaign mission, I will say. But any other missions kind of just feel like normal Call of Duty missions, if you know what I mean about that. But it is a good campaign. I won't take it away. I won't take that away from it. But I just felt like I needed to rank it lower because it's not my favorite Call of Duty, and it's probably one of my lower ones. But this is where it started to get really hard for me to decide, and I actually spent probably about 20 to 30 minutes trying to figure out what all to do for these campaigns. So anyways, guys, let's get down to the number 7 spot. So guys, at our number 7 spot, I put Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Now, while this campaign is amazing, I do enjoy it, I just don't like the whole fact of it jumping back and forth between, like, are we in the future? Are we in the past? And I just don't like that. I wish they would have stayed in the past because it feels like they're trying to tell two completely different stories. And just Raul Menendez is the only person. See, I know the villain's name in this one because I like this campaign. But he's really the only thing that connects this campaign together. Other than that, it feels like two completely different games. And like I feel like it would have been better if we would have had like this, like the Vietnam version be Black Ops 2, and then like have a big baddie, then have Raul Menendez be the bad guy of like Black Ops 3, and Black Ops 3 should have been like Alex's son, things like that. I think that would have made this campaign a lot better if it would have just stayed in the past because we got to stay with all the characters that we know and we enjoy. But I mean, it wasn't a bad campaign. It wasn't amazing, but I think it just suffers because it's trying to tell two different stories, but try and keep you involved in one over another. So anyways, guys, that's the number 7 pick, and all these are going to be like the small details are what made me pick others over, or some over others. So anyways, guys, let's get down to the number 6 spot. So guys, for our number 6 spot, this is Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. I'm going to keep this one brief because I don't want to talk too much about this game. I've only played it once, but when I did play it, the reason I picked this campaign over quite a few of them is because this is the first Call of Duty campaign, not the first one, but it's one of the ones that has made me feel sad for every character in the campaign. So, like at the end, if you haven't played Infinite Warfare, everyone dies. I'm just gonna say everyone dies. It's like Infinity War. But it it's a game that I enjoyed the campaign, but didn't like anything else. That's why I rated it a little lower. It's same thing with World War Two. I didn't want to take this into consideration, but I just don't think an Infinite Warfare campaign deserves to be in the top five. While it is a good game, and it's probably the first ever game to make me feel sad about a robot. I think I actually cried when Ethan died, but I mean, it was a good campaign, but it just, if it would have been in any other game, it would have been a better campaign. So, anyways, guys, that's why it's number six. Didn't feel like it needed the top five, but let's get into the top five. So, guys, at our number five spot, I have Modern Warfare 2. Now, I see in the comments already, Kip, Modern Warfare 2 should be number one. No, it should not. Modern Warfare 2 is not a very good campaign. A lot of people like it because of nostalgia. It is not an amazing campaign. It is a good campaign, but it is not the best Call of Duty campaign. I don't agree when people say that Modern Warfare 2 is the best campaign. All it is Modern Warfare 1 copied over, given better graphics, and it pretty much follows the same exact storyline as Modern Warfare 1, which makes sense because it is a next step in the trilogy. But it is not as good as some of the other Call of Duty campaigns, in my opinion. You guys are entitled to your own opinions, but I'm just saying, take off the nostalgia glasses, and Modern Warfare 2's campaign is not that good. It is fun. It is a fresh take on pretty much Call of Duty, minus that it followed Modern Warfare 1. I don't really enjoy this game because everyone's overhyped about Ghost and Roach, who are only in the game for about 5 missions and then they die. It makes no sense. I'm going to move on before people start to hate me. That's why it's at the number 5 spot. Okay, guys, so after that little rant, I'm sorry, but Modern Warfare 2 is not, in my opinion, a very good campaign. I've got Modern Warfare 3 at our number 4 spot. The only reason I have Modern Warfare 3 above Modern Warfare 2, while they are pretty much the same campaign, what I enjoy more about Modern Warfare 3 is, well, the guns. I enjoy the guns in Modern Warfare 3 way more than Modern Warfare 2. But Modern Warfare 3 brings a good end to the trilogy. The problem with Modern Warfare 2, in my opinion, is I don't really understand why Shepard would betray you because you trust him. And if he doesn't betray you, then you'd never know. And I know some of you are going to say, like, well, Crafton Price tried to warn Roach and Ghost. But why would he betray Cap? I don't understand why he betrayed them. They were just following his orders no matter what anyways. So I feel like if it wouldn't have gone that way, like if Makarov would have been the main villain still, it would have been fine. But Modern Warfare 3 I enjoy more because it brings a good end to the trilogy with you killing Makarov. Everyone dies except for Price, and I don't think Nikolai dies either, but I'm not sure. But it's just an all-around good campaign because Sandman and his team sacrifice themselves. Yuri sacrifices himself. Soap dies, and then pretty much everyone else that we know, Kamarov dies, and it's a good end to the trilogy. And it made me kind of sad when it was over because this honestly was the first one. I won't lie, this is the first one I played. And the good thing about these Modern Warfare games is you don't really need to play them in order. They do such a good job at being campaigns on their own because like each one has a villain. I will say that they are good with that, and you don't really need to know like what happened exactly in the last ones to be able to enjoy the next one. But in order to understand like the full story, you do have to play the original one or the one before it, which makes sense, but you don't necessarily need to in order to have fun with the game. So anyways, guys, that is the number 4 spot. Let's get to the top 3. So at our number 3 spot, we have the newest entry in the Call of Duty franchise, and that is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Now, Call of Duty Modern Warfare is actually one of... If I had to, like, pick one of the newer Call of Duties, this is my favorite Call of Duty from, like... I mean, it's my favorite Call of Duty from the newer ones. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Call of Duty of all time, but it has such a nice campaign because it brings back, like, nostalgia from the first ones, but it's a complete reboot of the series, so we will have all of our favorite people back, and we get them back completely. It's not like we are just giving a prequel. This is technically a prequel in a new storyline, but it's also giving us some background of what might have happened before, like, Price made the group. And I mean, it is a nostalgia trip because of like everything that's happened and what we've seen throughout the other campaigns. But this campaign does such a good job of showing you what it's like to be in a militia almost because of the I don't remember what their names are, but they're like Farah and her group. This campaign does such a good job of showing you what it would actually be like and like how they've got to adapt. Like using the drones in the one mission where they like you fly the drones. That is a great idea that I enjoyed in this Call of Duty. This Call of Duty just brought so many new things. Like they're old, but they spun it in such a way that it feels new, if you know what I'm saying. But I don't want to talk too much about this Call of Duty. It is new, so maybe for me it's just that new like shock factor still. But I have played this campaign probably 3 times since it came out, and it's a short campaign. That's why I didn't put it at the number 1 spot because it is probably my favorite. So guys, at our number 2 spot we have Call of Duty World at War. So now this is the first campaign on this list that I like. This is the first like chronologically, I believe. I think it came before Modern Warfare, but it's the first one chronologically that I wanted to put on this list because I hadn't played Call of Duty 1, 2, or 3, like the original ones. But I just like this game because I'm a big fan of World War II, or like learning about World War II. And what my favorite part about this campaign is there's so many missions that are just different. Like you get to drive a tank in one mission. It's something you never do in Call of Duty. You get to be in a, I don't remember what the actual name, but like the mission where you're in the plane using the 50 cal gunner and you're saving the people from the water. That's probably one of my favorite campaign missions from all the Call of Duties. And I really enjoy how in this campaign you go from a German, or not German, you go from a Russian side perspective to fighting the Japanese as the Americans. And that really like makes it really butters my croissant, if you will. And I really just like how you jump back and forth, but it's not like a Black Ops 2 thing where it's confusing. It's because we know what happens, so it's not like we can get super confused with it. But it's just an all around good campaign, in my opinion, because of all the things that it did right. And while it's not like the best graphics wise, if they remastered this game, I would definitely buy it just for the campaign. But anyways, guys, enough talking about number 2. Let's get into my number 1 spot. And guys, at our number 1 spot, we have Call of Duty Black Ops 1. Now, Black Ops 1 is so the reason it's my number 1 pick is it is my most nostalgic game. I mean, for zombies, but I also really just like this campaign. Like, this is the first campaign mission, and this is probably the best first campaign mission out of all of the Call of Duties, in my opinion. And this game is really fun because it's more like you don't know what's going to happen next. And I will say the ending is pretty trash, but the rest of the campaign is stellar. Like, when I figured out that Reznov was actually dead, I was like, that's impossible. This isn't right. You can't do this to me. But you also get to play as Hudson, and there's all these random missions, and I don't want to go into too much detail because I'm running pretty low on time, so I want to keep this under 20 minutes. But it's just an amazing campaign, in my opinion. Not a perfect campaign, because like I said, the ending, it's not amazing, but it has so many good qualities that I wanted to put it at number 1. It's my most nostalgic game, so I had to put it at number 1. So anyways, guys, that is my pick for my favorite Call of Duty campaigns. I really want to know what you guys think if you want to in the comments, please tell me what your favorite campaigns are. And if there's one that you think is the best that most people don't, let me know. Because I mean, honestly, I think some of these campaigns are way better than what I ranked them. But just looking at them all in like this grand picture made me realize that some of them were like, I couldn't rate them as high. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you in the next video.